guys, it's Meri.
And Amma.
We invite you guys to like,
Share,
subscribe,
and comment.
down below, y'all. Today we are going to be talking about Chapter 9 of Sister Wives, Mary's parts talking about family.
Yes. And in this one, she speaks about
Punishment.
discipline. Yeah, she calls it discipline. She speaks about finances, discipline in the home, and then just about, things that they do as like traditions, family traditions. So about the finances, she says that once Janelle came to the home, they put her on the joint account.
Right.
And Meri was still the one paying those bills. But Janelle started to feel like Meri was controlling the finances, and so they started to, everybody had their own account,
Yeah.
but then they started to assign who will pay for certain things, like
Right.
mortgage, utilities, car notes, that kind of thing. And she says that kind of has worked for them. But there's something that she said that was very interesting. She says that anytime we get a system down, like a family system, like how we interact, what we do as a family, she says anytime we get a system down, we will move.
Yeah.
It's like they never just stay put. Remember Aspin talked about that?
They
when
can
she
never
was up-
just stay still.
It's like, and also Maddie talked about that, like, they just cannot, once something is going well for them, it's like they have to move.
Yeah.
There are certain people that I have run into who have these restless spirits.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the case with the Brown family. We'll be right back. So it's like they can never just stay put. It seems like they thrive off of chaos.
Yeah.
And,
Well, maybe
like,
Cody and Meri, I feel. Because Cody has
Yeah.
been the one implementing all these moves for the most part.
but these women have gone along with it. And I also feel like this is not, this family has moved 15 times.
Yeah.
They have moved the same amount of time, the same amount of kids, number of kids that they have. They got 15 kids, they moved 15 times. Like, it's just ridiculous, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think that at some point the kids have to be able to feel stable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if the kids, as they get married and stuff,
They never move.
They never move.
They never, ever,
Just
ever
because
move.
of that feeling of chaos. I remember when I was growing up, we traveled a lot. So my father, had these international jobs, and I did not like traveling. Up until today, I really don't like traveling. I like to go to a place and stay put. And I think it's because of that,
I actually enjoy traveling.
Yeah.
I think because we stayed put.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Sometimes my siblings, a lot of them like to move around. And then there
Yeah.
are some of us who just like to stay put. Like me and my brother would like to just stay put. But
It's interesting how life works.
I know. And when you have that history, how it affects you. But she talks about discipline. And I was expecting Meri to really find the truth of what has happened. I was expecting for her to say something about herself. But this is how she begins to talk about discipline. She talks about it starting with her daughter at the time, right? So at that time she was called Mariah. So because of that, that's what I'm going to call her here. We all know that she's had, surgery, and she goes by Leon. But I'm going to call her Mariah here because she calls her Mariah right here. And she talks about a time when Christine disciplined Mariah. She says any of us sister wives can discipline any of the children if we see that they're disrespectful or they've done something that's not right. And she says that she wasn't at home. Mariah was with Christine. Christine disciplined Mariah. She felt she didn't have a problem with Christine disciplining Mariah for what she had done. However, she did not agree with the punishment. Meri said she felt as though that punishment was too extreme, and she verbalized that to Christine, and Christine did not agree with her, but respected her opinion. So I thought to myself, oh, okay, Mary's not going to talk about herself. Because we've had all these children talk about Mary. So I'm thinking, if you're putting this in a book about Christine, the one time that this happened with Christine.
I felt like she was trying to cover her ASS.
That's what I felt.
Honestly.
And then she says, anyway, Mariah is 16 now in the book, and she doesn't need to be, she's past that whole discipline phase.
Yeah.
So I was wondering to myself if this whole thing, when she talked about this in the book, I wondered to myself if I had a feeling that the devastating arguments had already happened.
Yeah.
Where Christine confronts her.
Right.
I had a feeling that already happened, and then she turns around.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now, Christine, you're being extreme. And I don't like it.
Okay.
I see that she should be disciplined, but you're extreme. I don't agree with the extremeness of your punishment. That's how I feel it happened. Because, she does not talk about herself. She says, as the kids got older, she said she started focusing on her own household. The sister wives started focusing on, like, they will discipline their own children kind of thing, right? And focus on their own household. And she's like, for her, the way she did a punishment, she said, if a child hits another with a toy, they don't get to play with the toy. If a child does not clean the room, they don't get to go outside. She talks about that. She says, but I never discipline a child if I don't think that they are able to correct the behavior. Right? And she says, as the kids grew up, everyone started to focus on their own child.
Yeah.
In terms of the discipline. Because now, and then she says, my sister wife and I have different ideas of what is a punishable offense and what isn't. And she says, as time went on, she wasn't focused on anybody else's child but her own.
Right.
However, something had been going on long enough, and nothing was being done about it, and she could not tolerate this offense anymore. And it was like, okay, what is the offense? The offense was, she said, some of the younger teenage boys, which to me, that's Garrison, Gabe, and Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just Garrison and Gabe.
Right.
Because she said some of the younger teenage boys of Christine and Janelle's, I guess. Well, she doesn't say Christine and Janelle. She just said some of the younger teenage boys were making Robin's daughters cry. And this has been going on long enough. And nothing was being done about it. And so when they went out, we all saw in that episode, I don't know if it was like episode 6 or season 6, I can't remember the season.
What's that episode where they said, I think
when Mary started
yelling at the kids.
Yelling at the kids. They went out and she started yelling at them. And she said that was because she couldn't ignore it anymore, because these younger teenage boys were being mean to Robin's daughters.
Yeah.
And she said there were a lot of the older kids also did not accept Robin as a parent, did not accept her children as their siblings, she said.
Yeah.
And she was going to handle it. And she said, and when she did, she's like, Christine, because we talked about that the other day. She said Christine and Janelle stood back. They did not have her back, and she felt betrayed because they didn't have her back. And I thought maybe it was PTSD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she did say that when they got home, Christine let her know. Okay, let's see. She said, Christine told me later that I was completely out of line for speaking my mind in that moment. And she feels that it's best to jump in when the transgression occurs instead of later. But apparently her sister wives think differently. And she said she guessed there's a pros and cons to that, to whether you jump in right away or if you do the talk later. And then she says, but we need to be patient and forgiving with each other as sister wives. And I thought to myself, you needed to be patient and forgiving when dealing with the children, because they all have talked about at this point how horrible the abuse was. So they're not calling it discipline. They're calling it abuse.
Yeah.
So when you're here talking about the one incident with Christine and Mariah, and then you want to talk about oh, I jump in the trash. I mean, it's not just about robbing. It sounds that you were doing, from what we get from Madison Payton and who's the other one, Mike Helty. You had been abusive to them before Robin even got there.
Yeah.
So I was stunned that she actually did not address it.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, she did not address it at all. She actually did not address it. And then the other thing with Robin's daughters, someone made a comment on our stuff that they noticed that time when Meri corrected the boys, they said as soon as Meri started yelling at the boys, the girls stopped crying.
Oh, we think they were doing it for attention. Yeah, I think I saw that comment too.
And that's what one of I don't know if you guys remember that scene. Did they
If
stop
you guys
crying?
know what episode and season it is, please comment down
Let
below
us
very
know.
kindly.
Yeah. Anyhow, she felt like with Christine and Janelle not handling their I guess their teenage boys and talking to them or backing her up, she felt like the kids were putting one parent against the other.
Yeah.
Pretty much her, Christine and Meri, or Janelle and Meri against each other. That's not the case. It just felt like when she was writing this chapter,
Yeah.
she was making a lot of excuses.
Right.
And she still did not address, like you talking about, I have certain punishments for stuff like if a child hits another with a toy, if a child doesn't clean their room.
Yeah.
None of that sounds serious.
Yeah.
So what else did you do? And she does not say.
Yeah.
She talks about Christine and how extreme that punishment was. She doesn't say what happened, but she doesn't talk about herself that she
Yeah.
has ever used like this extreme method. And so that
Yeah.
was interesting
Yeah, I thought
that
so.
she did not say that. And then, she has this point where she's like, oh, I have it great with Mariah. She's my only child. And
She
she's
wants to be part
well
of the
behaved. Why? She wants to be part of the plural lifestyle. She talks about, even though she likes, she was interested with some younger men, but she wants to wait. She wants to remain chaste and all this stuff. And then she said, I have an easier time with Mariah than the sister wives have with their kids. She makes a comment about that. And then I thought to she said, I have been absolutely blessed with her. And I felt the way she was going on, in this polygamous system, it really is a system that's also set up for a lot of
Competition, for sure.
where parents will be checking their child, like comparing them with the other wife's child, So I was like, this system is really set up for that. It sounds quite competitive. She also talked about Mariah and her. They did groceries separately from Christine and Janelle, which I guess makes sense. They usually go and buy bulk. Meri doesn't need to. It's just the two of them.
Yeah.
She talks about being close to Isabel, which we saw. I always thought that was very cute, that she was close to Isabel. Isabel
Yeah.
had a place where Meri can just go and, love on her and stuff.
Right.
Like Christine had that option with Isabel. I had forgotten that Dayton and her have the same birthday.
Who? Dayton and
Meri.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she was saying that one of the traditions was Cody will take, anytime a child's birthday, he will take the child and that mother out,
Yeah.
to go do something fun. And I thought that was nice. She talks about traditions of lunch on Sunday with the family, dinner on Friday with the family. I just felt like this family should have really kept those things up,
Yeah.
like when they went to Flagstaff.
Absolutely.
And we didn't see that. It's almost as if Cody had, like COVID happened,
Yeah.
and he really took advantage of that to be like, shoot, I don't even want to be. He had already been doing that anyway because he was spending 5 days with Robin. That signifies to me that even in Vegas, they weren't having the Friday dinners with everybody anymore
Right.
because you spent 5 days with Robin.
Yeah.
And then every other weekend with either Janelle or Christine.
Right.
So when they moved to Flagstaff, he really just used COVID to stay at Robin's place.
Yeah.
Because something, you guys could have had lunch on Sundays together. You could have done a Zoom call.
He didn't care.
You could have done the Friday meeting together. You didn't. You did not even keep plugged
traditions
in
going.
at all. They didn't
Yeah.
keep the tradition, and that was very sad.
I mean, but Christine called it though. She
When
said
she-
you're replacing the family.
She did say that. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday, and that's what happened. And then the other thing Mary was saying, like, Robin will come to her house with her children, sometimes when Cody wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know. And I just felt, Mary, you were the first wife. You could have told Robin from day one,
Yeah.
hey, look, let's go visit Janelle and her
Yeah.
family. Let's go visit Christine and the girls. You know, you could have done that, and you did not.
Yeah.
You didn't lead that. It's as if she brought Robin in to wipe it on Christine's face and for her to have a friend, since Christine and Janelle were friends.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And now, what has happened? You're not close to Robin.
Well, you've seen her for the snake that she has always been.
I don't know if she see, because I think if
Well,
she,
they said they're not close anymore. That's what I heard.
yeah, I think if Mary has to really see Robin as a snake, I think mentally she will not be able to handle it. That's what I personally think.
Yeah.
I don't think
Probably.
her mind at this point is not going to allow her to understand that, because I don't think Mary can handle a lot. I don't think she can mentally, emotionally. She cannot handle a lot
Yeah.
at all. And when I was thinking about her, I feel as though all the trauma that she has gone through, the emotional trauma, the beat down, the brokenness, it really started probably at a younger age for her.
I think it started with,
With
her,
her dad.
upbringing.
And I think it became more
Yeah.
when she met Cody.
Absolutely.
And I feel as though when we watched that tape and she was having her temper tantrum, she called it, I think that, because I kept on saying, even I don't even know 20-year-olds who are having temper tantrums. I think that Mary's growth has like stopped in her 20s.
Probably
like
stopped whenever she has
mental
some
growth,
serious trauma.
Yeah, like it has kind of like
Arrested her.
Yes, right there
Yeah.
in her early 20s or as a teenager.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so she's still displaying,
Childlike behavior.
even though she's double the age.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
totally
I think
get
that's
her
what's
going
on.
off on that person about, calling your child misfit. You don't call
Yeah.
someone's child, a bad name.
Yeah.
Anything. It's not right.
No, it's not. And
I
we-
just felt like it was a lot when she started growling and saying she was having a temper tantrum.
It went too much. It was too much. It was
It was
inappropriate.
kind of weird to
It
me
was-
because
it is.
it didn't seem normal for a 50-year-old to act like that.
And for me, when I looked at her face, I actually thought of the children, the Brown children,
Yeah.
who have alleged that they suffered abuse at her hands. I felt that when I looked at her face, I was imagining putting myself as those children and how terrifying that would have been
Right.
if they were seeing that face. Like if they saw that face of Mary doing all that and growling, and because Cody talked about the growling, this is when
Yeah.
she's a teenager.
Which I thought he was lying.
So that's something that she has continued. That's why I said her development has been arrested there.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
what I
you
think.
look at some of her behaviors that she does, it's like, and one of our subscribers called it something, like emotional deregulation, I think
Let
she
me see
said.
what she said.
But I was like, oh wow. So yeah. Anywho,
Yeah,
I-
let me just find
the comment that the
Yeah, it's this is Seashell actually commented this, and she's one of our amazing subscribers who always commented, has such nice things to say, and has really insightful
comments,
words.
yes,
But she called it
absolutely.
emotional dysregulation.
Yeah.
And she said it's a real disorder, and Mary shows so many symptoms in almost every clip we see of her. She's up and down and all over the place. Emotions are normal and useful, but her behavior often seems in excess, happy, sad, angry of what might be considered appropriate.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't have agreed more.
Yeah,
quite
absolutely. That was excessive for the crime. that was it was excessive,
For the
and
crime.
it became, when I was looking at her face, I just felt like, man, if a child saw an adult doing that,
Yeah.
how do you even expect the children to be responding when stuff is going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? like you're not teaching them well, and then on top of that you're out of control,
Yeah.
and that will be terrifying to a child, to a young teenager.
Yeah.
That will be terrifying. And so just from that backdrop, that's how I saw it. But
A lot of y'all quite shady
Yeah,
in these
but-
comment sections.
yeah, but with Mary,
Quite
I
shady.
just feel like she still did not address it.
Yeah.
She still has not addressed it, not even in this book. She
Well,
wasn't
no.
authentic in this book.
Well,
And I feel like she has not, that remorse is not there. She did a lot of kind of skirting and talked about her discipline and
Yeah.
this and that and the reason for it, whether it's the furniture, whether it's her place, whether it's, children, not liking Robin's children and all. She has been given a lot of excuses for why she's disciplining, but she did not talk about herself. I thought when she spoke about Christine, I was like, oh, yes, I'm sure she's going to now talk about herself.
I personally think
But
it
she
is
didn't.
because, what's the word? I think it's because, remember when she was, sorry y'all, I got 2 hours of sleep last night. Remember when she was talking about, was it her not being in the room with Maddie giving birth?
Yes.
And remember Maddie has called her a monster. And then she had the nerve to drag all these people to therapy talking
Yes.
about how, oh, you guys excluded me, knowing
Yeah.
damn well why we did, because Maddie don't feel safe with you.
Yeah.
But you have
But
these
we,
cameras,
the
so
audience-
you think, don't know.
We did not know because remember we were on her side.
Yeah.
We were like, Christine and Janelle, that was kind of wrong.
Yeah.
You guys kept her out of the room.
But they know why, because
They
Maddie
know
don't
why.
like her.
She knows why. She knows they're not going to say anything because the camera is there.
Yeah.
And she drags us, the viewers, all on this.
Who drags them? I felt bad for them.
Yeah, but
That
we
they
were
had to-
dragged with them because now
Yeah.
we're like, and then remember
They
I
had
said.
to go to therapy for like a few sessions over that. And I'm
Yes.
sure Christine and Janelle were looking like,
And-
you look so lucky this camera's
And
here.
remember, I told you. I remember that time when they were talking at the therapist stuff. I said, I'm seeing another side of Christine. She seems very cold. Like Mary's there crying.
You come with a lot of baggage.
I was like, here's
ooh.
Mary crying, and they don't even.
They seem
seem
disconnected.
Yeah, they don't even seem like they even
Empathetic.
give a yes.
They didn't give a damn.
We were all on her side, like
Yeah.
Christine, Janelle. We're seeing some other thing now, and I see why poor Mary is
Mhm.
crying so much. They're
Yeah.
so mean to her.
Yeah.
We were bamboozled.
very
Come
much
to
so.
find out, of course, this is the reason why Maddie don't want your tail there. She doesn't feel safe with you. Why in
Hello.
the hell am I going to be at my most vulnerable while I'm giving birth and I got my enemy in the room? You don't lost your damn mind. Anyone who brings you in will get the hell out with you. Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that was all for this, was it?
well, that was all.
Chapter of becoming sister wives. Y'all
And
get
it's,
down
on,
the
it's on the
comments.
family. I'm about to go read Janelle's, which is much shorter than Mary's. But yeah, Mary did not give me any clue. I was really hoping as I was reading, like,
She will be honest.
she will be honest and she will actually just tell us what happened, which, we are adults. Maybe from the eyes of a child, it might
Yeah.
look different or whatever. She gave me nothing
Well, that's a zero
But-
accountability.
that I guess she knows about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.